Sorry, I made some chili. It's really fucking good. Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host today, Gaming Legion, Gaming Lahan. You can call me Legion, you can call me Jacob, whichever you prefer. Welcome back to the channel. I apologize, I meant to get this out last week, but unfortunately, a lot of shit happened with my health. Needed to, get less sleep deprived and less headaches, and then I initially recorded this video, did really shit, started to ramble a lot, and was kind of out of whack. So I went back, took a lot of notes, did a lot more research, and now I can hopefully make this a little bit more structured. Fuck, that was really good chili. Physical versus digital game collecting. Which one is better? Why would you choose one over the other? What are the advantages or what are the disadvantages? If you could not tell, I like collecting physically, but I got no problem with collecting digitally as well. I have an insanely large Steam library, ladies. I have a lot of stuff downloaded digitally on my PS5, obviously PS4 games as well. My Nintendo Switch has a few things downloaded digitally. My 3DS, I got no problem with digital games. But I want to talk to you guys about why you might want to start collecting more physically, or why digital is just perfectly fine, or why you might want to switch to digital. Now, what prompted me to make this video was a few things that started happening recently in the news, plus a few things that we've been hearing for a few years now. First off, Microsoft is looking to move away from hardware after the Xbox Prime console. If you haven't heard, the next console is rumored to be called the Xbox Prime. A shit name, but you know what, we'll take it for now, I guess. And with Microsoft's recent, campaign about this is an Xbox, the TV is an Xbox, your mom is an Xbox, you can stick my dick in my Xbox. Ladies. We've been hearing that they might be doing something like this, similar to how Valve is doing with the Steam OS, where they have it on the Steam Deck, but you can also put it on other handheld consoles. Xbox is thinking about doing sort of a similar thing, and they will stop with hardware. Although we have been hearing some other things about how they're going to continue with hardware, but they're going to be pushing their OS. I don't know. If they go with that, that's even more fucking stupid. There was also this rumor like a year or two ago that we haven't really heard much since, but I thought I'd throw it in here, about Sony also wanting to do away with hardware and instead making a virtual console sort of deal for the PC, sort of like how you have Steam or GOG, GameJolt, all of those online libraries. You would sort of have a similar thing with the PS5, where instead of doing hardware, they would just make it into their own little Steam library launcher sort of thing. Also, sticking on Sony, recently they are getting rid of certain Blu-ray disc formats. Now, do not worry, your TVs, your movies, your video games, they are all safe. They are all avoiding the cataclysm, at least for a little bit. It looks like starting in February of this year, so this week, maybe next, they're going to stop producing mini discs, it looks like metadata for recordings, and mini DV cassettes, those type of Blu-ray formats. So again, don't worry, those are ones that are very niche. You're probably not using those unless you are like in maybe a music sort of thing, movie, like deep into those things. But for the general populace, you'll be fine. So after hearing all of this, and obviously looking at the 9th generation of gaming and all the consoles, everybody's really thinking, wow, are we really going into a digital age? And I'll tell you right now, I don't want it. I like physical, but I'll explain more throughout the video and I'll give you something at the end. I kind of have this set up in a bit of like a pros and cons list sort of way, but I'll just talk and I'll kind of explain as I go along. First thing I have here is a pro for physical and a con for digital. The pro is you're actually getting something. You get to collect something. You get a game, you get a case, you get a disc in here. Boom. You also get a little receipt. I'm a nerd. I like collecting the receipts. Sue me. But you actually get something to kind of show off. You can put it in a collection, show that off. You can't really do that as well with digital, or you're going to really sound like that guy who's like, ooh, I have a huge Steam library. Ladies. Yeah, no, that's kind of creepy. But I'm a stud. Another thing you can get with obviously collecting physically is you can get things like steelbooks. Visions of Mana specifically is the one I have right here. This one, I didn't actually pre-order the game, which is what you needed to do to get the steelbook. I had gone in to my local GameStop, saw it for like 40 bucks, and I'm like, you know what, let's get it. And they were like, hey, we have a steelbook here. Nobody picked it up with their pre-order. They canceled. So you want it? Yes, please. Yes, please. Give me that shit. And that's kind of the same with some other games. Like when I got BO6, I also, because I pre-ordered that, I got a steel case with it. Very nice. Love that. Next up, you also get some knickknacks with your games, possibly. One big one is Balatro. If you were to get that physically, I got mine with the Switch. You were able to get a bunch of little cards inside. I can't show them because they are on this. I can't show them because I have stuck them on the side of my my bookcase there. Maybe I'll take a picture, throw it up here, little boom. But you get little ace cards and jokers, which is really nice, really cool. Other, versions of this is like with the Nintendo World Champions NES edition. If you were to get the deluxe edition of this physically, you got a golden cartridge like this, sort of resembling the original Nintendo World Champions cartridge. You get some pins, which you can also see back there, and you also get some cards as well, some kind of big cards that I actually left in the box right there, right up here. Oh yes, oh yes. But you can get some cool knickknacks, some stuff you can put up and put on the mantelpiece. Really start a conversation starter, really. Now, physical collecting's probably biggest pro is also a good con. Not its biggest, but definitely a con. Is that, yeah, you get all this, but that means you get all of this. That means you have to have somewhere to actually store it. I am very lucky. I am very blessed. Thank you, parents, for helping me pay for this entire place. But I have the room where I can put up a bookcase or two. I can put the games. I can put all these collectibles up and, put them up. But if you are, say, like a little kid, especially with parents who might not be super into video games or really like that, or maybe you're just living in a smaller place, like let's say you're living in a college dorm room, you're not putting up a giant Echoes of Wisdom poster like that. Hell, I barely wanted to put that up, but you know what? I got it for free, so I said, let's put it up. Now, because this is a con in the physical, this is a pro in the digital. Because you don't actually have everything to collect with digital, that means everything is in your library. You have it right there, easily accessible. And this is more especially prevalent with everything pre-Generation 9, your 3DS, your PS4, your Xbox One, PS3, Xbox Series, Xbox 360. All your games right there in your library, ready for you to download or already have downloaded, and you can just hit play right away. No need to put a disc in, yada yada. Because you can do this, this actually helps with traveling a lot. So say you're somebody that has to travel around the country or internationally for business. Say you're a truck driver and you're never at home. You're, driving around the country a lot. Being able to collect digitally is a lot easier for you and probably a lot better because you don't have to lug around all the extra cases and everything and make sure all the discs are in there. You can just, take the actual system with you and just play. And kind of bouncing off that, it also makes handhelds a lot easier to deal with as well. You can see over there, I have a good Switch library, and that's just because I like collecting physically again. I also have some 3DS games I like to collect physically for that as well. But for something like the 3DS or the Switch, PSP, PS Vita, being able to have your stuff digitally on there makes the handheld a lot more portable because you don't actually have to be carrying around a bunch of cartridges with you or have to carry around a cartridge case just so that you can try and, hold all your games in there. You just have it on the system. You can click play, go right ahead. You don't need to try and switch out the cartridges. So again, very nice for handhelds. All right, enough digital glazing. Let's get into a big thing. A pro for physical, con for digital. At the very least, pre-Generation 9. And I said Generation 9 a few times. Generation 9 is the PS5, the Xbox Series X and S, and then kind of the Nintendo Switch. It's the Switch is a Generation 8 and 9, so you can kind of consider it in both. It's a little weird, don't worry about it. But with collecting physically before Generation 9, it is very good. It is very good. Your storage on the console was really only for obviously your OS, your files, but then it was also for your save data, your game updates, maybe some double discs. We'll have to put game data on the actual console. but you don't have to worry about your console storage getting eaten up like right away. And this is a big thing that is a problem with digital, and something that, especially when the PS5 and the Series X first came out, this was huge. You know, everybody was talking about it. I told you I did my research here. Looking at some of the like system storages for this generation, the PS5, the initial release of it, not the Slim, not the Pro, the initial release, started at 850 gigabytes of total storage. Now, that is not incorporating file size, your OS, your mandated files. Looking at that and putting those into account, you only have about 670 gigabytes of space for actually putting games, storing images, save data, all of that. For the PS5 Slim, a little bit better, you get 1 terabyte, which means you get around 850 gigabytes of actual use. The PS5 Pro, a lot better. You get 2 terabytes with about 1.9 terabytes to actually use for yourself. The Xbox Series X, the initial one, was a 1 terabyte, and you got around 800 gigabytes. And about a year ago, or at least a few months ago, I forget exactly when, there was a sort of refresh with the Xbox Series X. It's not a Pro, but they give you more storage, where you get 2 terabytes, and I'm seeing around 1.75 terabytes. I think it might be a little bit higher. I can't be fucked to go check it out. And then the Xbox Series S, which is the most egregious out of these consoles, with 512 gigabytes. And then the absolute most egregious is the Nintendo Switch, which is like 20 or 32 gigabytes of internal storage. For the Switch, that's kind of okay because file sizes are really small with the Switch, and a lot of the games are actually still on the cartridges for those. But, and like I said, this is really a problem when you're looking at Generation 9. Generation 9, you have games that are... hello, camera? Hello? You have a lot of games that are way above 100 gigabytes. A few examples: The Witcher 3, The Elder Scrolls Online, the Horizon games, Wukong, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. And the biggest game that I've been able to find is COD Cold War at around 312 gigabytes, or 312.6 to be specific. Right there, if you were to download Cold War on your initial PS5 system, that takes out just under half of your entire system storage. That's fucking crazy. So if you want to get around this problem, obviously you could put an M.2 into your PS5, or you can get an expansion card or external hard drive for your Series X. For your Switch, you can get a micro SD card, throw that in. Obviously you can expand the storage, but that's already dropping like an extra $100 plus just to get a decent amount of storage on your console. Because if you don't have that extra storage, you're having to play fucking game tic-tac-toe.
Tetris. It's fucking Tetris. Do not say tic-tac-toe in your life ever again, you motherfucker. You pasty white little bitch. You long hair because you want to look really cool, motherfucker. I swear to God, it's Tetris. I'm a little sick right now. I'm sorry.
With trying to make sure you got the games you want to play right now, some games you might want to touch a little bit later, all on your system so you don't have to go back and re-download them. I think I kind of skipped ahead there, but looking pre-Generation 9, this isn't that bad. Your game is pretty much on the disc. Your entire game, like, files are on the disc, with the exception of updates, save files, all of those. So, like, PS3 over there, that I put a 1 terabyte storage drive in there just because I wanted that extra storage. I can probably play up to like 500, maybe 1,000 games on there, just because it only has minimal game data, save data, you know, pictures and apps and stuff. And I can easily delete some of that after I'm done playing the game. But I can, like, I already have my entire PS3 library loaded up on there. So if I want to play one of those PS3 games, I pop it in and I hit play and I can play right away. But for like my PS5 library up here, I can hold maybe like 4 or 5 of these games at once. And if I want to play another one, I have to delete one or one or two or a few of the games, depending on the size, just so I can put one of those on there. Same with PS4. And again, that's just physically getting those discs for pre-Generation 9. If you're looking digital for something like the PS4, the 3DS, or the Xbox One, or even some of your other handhelds like the PSP and the PS Vita, you're having to look and actually still download everything to the system there as well. That means where if you might have a PS4 game on disc and you're playing it on your PS4 system, It's going to take up a lot less space than if you were to download it digitally. You might only have to get like a few gigabytes with one of those games, where digitally you're going to have to put away maybe 50 gigabytes. Okay, enough rambling. Let's move on to a point that has been probably the biggest topic of this whole physical versus digital debate. With physical, at the very least, before Generation 9, the game is yours. It is your game, you get to keep it. You can do, first of all, whatever you want with it. You can play it, you can frame it, you can sell it off, you can shit on it, or you can just be an ass and fucking snap it for views. And hold up, I'm going on a tangent with this for a second. Hold on. Hey, buddy. If you're one of those people that snaps your fucking discs, or even worse, breaks the fucking consoles, fuck you to the moon. You're an asshole, okay? You bought a system just to break it. I understand it's your money. Absolutely. It's your money. But you just fucked over like 5 other people who probably wanted the system. Especially like 2020, 2021, when people were trying to get PS5s. Now is almost damn near impossible, and you're breaking that shit? Fuck you. So yeah, you can do whatever you want with it. So obviously, if you download a game digitally, you are technically not purchasing and owning the game. You are purchasing a license to play the game. There was even a big thing in California recently, I think like 2 or 3 months ago, where Steam and some other retailers had to specifically state on there, hey, you are not owning the game, you are purchasing a license for it. It can be taken away from you. This is even something we've seen with some games getting delisted and taken out of people's libraries. First of all, like your parents, because fucking parents, they do that shit all the time. Thanks, Mom. Okay, but more seriously, more seriously, this is happening a lot with server shutdowns. When the game's servers shut down, they're also going to delist it and probably take it out of your library. Biggest one that I think everybody probably knows is my good old boy here, Concord. Yes, I have it physically. I know I'm an idiot. I bought this shit like a week or 2 after the shutdown intentionally. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, Concord was, again, one of PlayStation's, they tried to make it their big live service game, shut down after 2 weeks. It was up 2 weeks later, shut that shit down. You can literally no longer find this game digitally, and even if you have it physically like I do, you can't actually get onto the servers. So, obviously, with servers shutting down, games getting delisted, makes sense, but again, you're still losing the game. But then there are even other ones where they will delist it and maybe even take it out of your library where they didn't have servers, or at least the game could still play perfectly fine without servers. Biggest one is F1 2021. That got completely delisted, servers shut down. But there is single player mode and local multiplayer mode where you can do like split screen right there. That getting delisted completely super sucks. The only way you can get that now is physically. Another one that I believe hasn't happened yet, I didn't do research on this, I'm sorry, is Suicide Kill the Justice League.
We make great gaming decisions here at the Gaming Legion channel. I just never said that they were profitable.
That one, I know their servers are shutting down, so you are only going to be able to play all the single player stuff, I believe. They are going to be one of those people that actually keeps it up for that, but I don't know if they're going to be delisting. I just know their servers are shutting down, so it might get delisted. I don't know. I got it for $5 on the Epic Games Store. Get fucked. What the fuck does Mr. Fantastic do? That guy goes so fucking hard.
Hi, the Prophet is here to speak again. So after I recorded this video, it also came out that Multiverses was getting shut down. The Warner Brothers IP's version of Smash Bros. For anybody that doesn't remember. Yeah, they're shutting down. I believe it's in the around summertime. So they're also shutting down, and to my knowledge, there was no single player. So servers are shutting down. Game is probably going to be delisted as well. Goodbye, Multiverses. So sorry to see you go.
All right, and this is not exactly a pro or a con for physical or digital. This is just a con for Generation 9 gaming in a whole. Ooh. Yay. But it's the fact that with a lot of PS5 and Xbox Series X games, not all of the game data is actually on the disc. Some don't even have any content on the discs. On the disc, they may only have like a key or something on there that actually tells the system, hey, yeah, this is their game, this is their copy, they got it. Some cases of this are really any PS4 to PS5 upgrade. You can see this with like any of the Resident Evil remakes that got PS4 ports. Just recently, I know like 2, 3, and 7 just got PS5 remakes like earlier this month. I bought, what is this? I bought 3 and 7 on the PS5. This one I just had before. But obviously the content for the PS5 version is not going to be on the PS4 disc. That's pretty obvious. I think people understand that. Where it then gets a little murky is a lot of games that are just too big to fit on the discs or too big for developers to want to put it on a disc. And you see this a lot with the 3D AAA games, and that's where you mainly see it. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Uncharted 4, Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor. You see it a lot with those types of games where it is way too big. They're not even going to try and put it on the disc. It is going to be all digitally downloaded. Next up. A con for buying it physically and a pro for digital. Let's get back onto the meat writing here. For physical, if you want to buy it, you either need to go into a person. Let's look at in-person stuff first. Obviously, if you want to go to a store, the store needs to be open, obviously, which is kind of annoying, especially if you're going to somewhere like GameStop, where they don't open until 10 a.m. noon some days, and they close at 8. So especially if you're working a 9 to 5, you're probably not getting in there to get that unless you're going right after work, and then you better hope you're able to get there right after work. You also have places like Walmart, Target, some retro game stores. Those are a little bit better, obviously, but you still need to go in. And probably the biggest part of going in is you just kind of have to hope that they have the game there. Now, you might be lucky, you can call ahead and be like, hey, do you got this in your system, in your store, or is this at another place? You know, can you tell me? That's still something you can do. But you could be like me, who doesn't like calling people because I don't like annoying the workers. I think they're already hating their life enough. So I just go in and see if I can find it. And especially when you're going into a lot of these, you know, regular stores, GameStop, Walmart, Target, good luck finding anything before the PS4 or anything before the Xbox One or the Switch, especially before the Switch. You're not finding shit Wii U, 3DS before that. Get fucked. Maybe at some GameStops, but yeah. And then even for some of these places that do sell, you know, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X and Switch games, if it's not like a AAA game that is released in the last 2 years, good luck. You're probably not finding it, or you will get very lucky and find like the last copy. So yeah, you just gotta like hope and pray that it is there. Now let's look at shipping. Obviously you can buy it online through places like Amazon. You can buy it online at Walmart or Target or eBay. But then you have to wait to get it shipped to you, which means you got to already wait for the game to come to you. This is obviously okay with something that is not a brand new release. Say you're getting Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition on Amazon, where years after the release, you can probably wait an extra few days for it if you really want, but you still got to wait for it. Amazon is pretty good with this, especially if you have Prime. You'll get it within maybe 3 or 4 days. eBay, Walmart, Target, dude, those can be shit, especially because they go through USPS. eBay, you have to wait for the seller to actually ship it, and then you gotta hope that they can get it to you in time. You're probably waiting up to a week. Walmart, I had this problem. Oh, hold on. I had this problem with Resident Evil 4, where I purchased it at Walmart, and it said it was in store. They said they had 3 in stock. I said, hey, let me come pick it up in store. Fine, I don't mind doing that. 7 p.m. rolls around, an hour before my pickup time. Hey, we don't have it. We'll send it to you. You can get it by like Tuesday. Fuck it. Fine. I gotta wait till Tuesday. Fine. Tuesday rolls around. Hey, so actually the package isn't there. You'll get it by Friday. Okay. Fine. Fuck me. Friday rolls around. Hey, buddy, guess what? Your UPS driver, something happened. We don't know what, and we're not going to tell you. You're not getting your game today. Get fucked. You'll get it tomorrow. I got the game, but I was pissed off for a week. Now, I'm lucky that I was doing that with games that have already been released for a while. This wasn't a new release. Now, what if you're trying to do this with a new release? I actually have a story of this for, again, Nintendo World Champions NES Edition. I got my deluxe edition. I'm special, thank you. But I had actually ordered this through GameStop, expecting it to, you know, get it day of release. I believe it was like a Thursday in July. I want to say July 27th. But I had ordered it like 2 weeks in advance. I had already paid for it, and I had to wait until the day after it released to actually get it, because it just took another day for shipping. So I didn't get to play it day one like everybody else and have fun. I also haven't really touched it since then, so, you know, $60 for essentially those two things to get shown, you know, it's fine, whatever.
We make great gaming decisions here at the Gaming Legion channel. I just never said that they were profitable.
Now compare this with buying your stuff digitally, which you can play pretty much right away. As soon as you hit that purchase button, you can play within the next hour or two. Now, if you did this for a new release or you pre-ordered the game digitally, it's a little bit different, obviously, because you have to wait for the actual release day, but it's even better with digital, because guess what? If you pre-ordered that game, you can wait until the release day, and at midnight, if your console is on and connected to the internet, it'll start automatically downloading your game for you without you having to even do anything. That is probably a really cool feature, and like a big plus one, or a big like plus up on the scale for why digital is a little bit better. And another thing that's kind of outside of the pro con thing, I guess, is that some games don't even get a physical edition right away. Biggest ones from recent memory, Black Myth Wukong, obviously. That one wasn't intentional. They were having production problems with discs, so they couldn't actually get the physical editions out on time. But you know, we still didn't get the physical edition with the digital, so you could buy a Black Myth Wukong digitally back in like August 20th, and then you had to wait until I think last month to actually be able to buy it physically and get it through there. Same thing with Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. They were released digitally and then like I think 9 months later they actually got you the PS5 Series X release physically. And it looks like that's going to be the same with a few other games. Legacy of Kain 1 and 2, Soul Reaver, the remasters, Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remasters. Looks like it's going to be happening with that, and a bunch of others. And now the last pro con that I have for this video, and probably another big one. Like a lot of these are all kind of the big ones, but this is another one for the general consumer. If you're trying to buy it physically, there are less sales, less discounts, and inflated fucking prices. Whereas digitally, you can find this shit for a 1/10 of the price in some cases. Looking at it physically, you're only getting sales around the holidays. That's pretty much the only time you are ever going to actually see a sale. And even during the holidays, forget new releases. If a game released like a month ago, forget that. You're not getting a discount on that physically. Good luck. You're funny. Along with that, sales differ between stores. You could see something at GameStop for like $55 and something at Walmart for $45. You know, the prices differ between stores for a reason I'll explain in a little bit. This even extends to like in-store and the online prices. You could find something at Walmart for, you know, $60, but then look online and it'll be like, you know, $55.50, you know, and because you bought it online, that's a, you know, different price. You get the better deal. Just a lot of places you would have to go to actually be able to find the game physically at a decent price. Whereas if you're doing it digitally, it's one price on there. And then another reason why physical collecting sucks with like all the prices and stuff is games get inflated out the ass. Some of the biggest ones that you can kind of see are any Pokemon game before the 3DS era, so like anything before Gen 5, you know, especially if you're looking at something like Gen 4, dude, Pokemon Diamond sells for over $100 anywhere I look. Dude, GameStop will have these games at fucking $80. No. Another one that I have explained in a previous video, but I'll explain again, is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, the US version specifically. They came out with two different versions. There was a PS4 version, which was the initial remake, and then the PS5 version here, which was the remake Intergrade, which just added an extra level, an extra character, some DLC stuff, but it was only for the PS5 version of the game. You couldn't just, you know, buy it and download it for the PS4 version. You want to buy it digitally? That's cool. It's like $60. Sometimes it's honestly like off for like $30, $40. You actually get some good deals on there. But if you want it physically, good luck finding an American version of this game, because that's, you gotta pay like $100 and you won't even get the case or any of the other code. You won't even really get the code for it, which means at that point you're just paying for a PS5 version of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which at that point just buy the PS4 version, if that's, because the code is, it's pre-owned, you're not getting that code. Which means for, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, if you want to play that physically and you don't want to pay out the ass for it, you're going to need to find an EU version. Like if you're in America, you're going for an EU version because you can actually read the text and shit.
But then with that, you're just gonna have to make a new account, like an EU account, so that you can redeem the code, because if you're redeeming an EU code on an American account, get fucked, you can't do that. And then you try to go to customer support and they're like, get fucked, you should ask for a different version. Motherfucker, what do you think I would do if I could have gotten an American version?
Fuck customer support at PlayStation, they suck dick. And then another one where this isn't really considered inflating, I would say, but games where the only way you can get it physically is through a deluxe edition. The one I can really remember right now is Baldur's Gate 3. That is primarily digital, but if you want it physically for Xbox, PlayStation, or even Steam, you can get it physically. The only way you can actually get it physically is with the deluxe edition, which is like 120, like over $100, which you do get all the cool stuff with it. Obviously, that's why it is more expensive, but there is no way to get it individually unless you want to go to a third-party seller like eBay, who's already going to overcharge the shit out of you for it. So obviously, buying your games digitally is going to be a lot better. First off, more sales, especially when you're looking at libraries like Steam or GOG. They have a lot of deals. I know right now with Steam, they even have one for some Rockstar games. So GTA 5, Red Dead, the new remaster, Red Dead 2. You can get a lot of those games on sale, and a lot of games are on sale a good amount of the time. And especially when you get to like the summer sales, the winter sales, dude, Steam's got it. Steam's got it when it comes to discounts and sales. One bundle, or like one deal that I found on Steam that I really want to highlight, because this is probably one of the best bundles I've ever seen, was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't know if it's still up, but there was a Borderlands bundle for like $30-$40. But that came with every Borderlands game, the definitive editions of them. It actually came with the original Borderlands plus the Game of the Year edition. So you got both of those. It came with every DLC and basically every like little attachment. It came with everything. It's like $300-$400 that got knocked down to $30-$40. Dude, that was insane. And that was all on Steam. Thank you so much. Like, I'm not even kidding. I have those games physically, but I saw that you can get all of that for like $30. I'm like, give me that. That's probably why I don't have a lot of money in my wallet right now, but we're not going to talk about that. But there are bundles like that, mostly on Steam, but you can also see it on like PlayStation, where shit will get knocked down a lot. And I mentioned this earlier with fucking Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League through the Epic Games Store. That was like, and it was the gold edition. It was like $100 for the gold edition of the game, got knocked down to $5, a 95% discount. You're never seeing that in stores. Now, why can digital do these kinds of deals while you go to GameStop and you're still seeing it for $60? Some people might not understand how this works, so I'm just going to explain it. With physical copies, they are bought from the companies by the retailers. So GameStop, for example, let's say, you know, what's coming out? Expedition 33. Expedition 33 is going to be coming out in April. Super fucking excited. I'm really hyped for that game. I love it. I already gushed about it in another video. Go check that out on my VOD channel. I'm pretty sure it's over there. But Expedition 33 is going to come out. So GameStop and other places are going to buy it from the company that like has the rights for the game. They buy it in bulk. They normally get a little bit of a discount because they're buying it in bulk, and then they sell it in their stores. Now GameStop technically gets to make the prices whatever they want so that they can try and sell at equal or at a profit, obviously. So that's why if they buy like 10 games of something, let's just go Mario Odyssey. Let's say they buy 10 Mario Odysseys for like $50 a piece. They're going to try and sell it for $55, $60 a piece so that they can make a profit. Obviously, if they try and sell it anything less than $50, they're taking a loss. And even at that, and even if they try and sell it like $52, with taxes and other stuff, that might still be a loss. So they got to sell it for another $5-10 at least. But with digital, the companies and the developers really get to set the prices. Not only do they not have to worry about, production costs and everything, but they don't have to worry about upcharging and all of that because the game's already there. They're the ones setting the prices. So they can take a $60 game and drop it down to $30 for a sale because they can. They don't mind taking that little loss right there. So, wrapping up this video.
For somebody who wanted to make shorter videos, you keep making them longer. Stop talking.
What should you choose? Should you do physical? Should you do digital? Really, it's up to you. It is very specific to your case, what you prefer. I would say before Generation 9, I would 100% do physical. For the sole purpose of you get to own your game. You don't have to worry about, it getting delisted. You don't have to worry about it getting taken out of your library. You don't have to worry about the possibility of never actually getting to see or play that game because you have it physically. But with Generation 9 and the fact that some games aren't even on the disc, even when you download a disc, it's basically downloading right to the console. So at that point, the disc is just there to say, yes, I have it. I would say that digital is definitely a lot more understandable in this day and age, and I can accept it a lot more. I would say the best solution is to do a mix of them. Like I said, again, I like physical, so I'm going to collect physically. But if I'm seeing a game that's normally like $60-70 physically, if I'm seeing that for like $10-15 online through digital, I might go get that. And even in some cases, I didn't even mention this before, sometimes actually collecting it physically is even better cost-wise than doing it digitally. I mean, especially if you go to like a retro game store or like some pawn shop or something, you can possibly get a game for like 50-60% off just because it's pre-owned. Like that, you can actually get good deals because of that. But I'm talking about brand new games, so yada yada. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It's getting a little dark out. I need to edit this video and get it out. I apologize for not streaming too much recently. Mental health, and by that I mean I'm not sleeping well because of work and classes starting at 11 a.m. Don't worry about me. I am actually doing okay, but I just need to recuperate my losses. So I am doing better. Do not worry.
I say as I go back to back on sleep deprivation and then a cold that I'm still feeling.
But I hope to be streaming a little bit more. Hope to be making these videos on a more consistent schedule. Maybe one a week. I can probably deal with that. But I hope I can talk about more in the future. Very excited to. So thank you guys so much for watching. Check me out on Twitch. Check out my VOD channel. Check me out on social medias. All linked wherever. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Also, I've been working on music again. And for the people that know, no, this is not school shooter shit again. I promise you that's not a weird thing. I promise. But I'm working on music. Have a good one. Here's a taste.
Really think they the fucking worst. I think Kevin Simpson many times feeding for it. There's DMs that be blowing up like terrorists.